Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
All right, now we're switching topics and guests to another interesting conversation looking at Nigerian women in diaspora and the image of Nigeria abroad. Nigerian women in diaspora are strong voices and cultural ambassadors across the world, excelling in different areas and fields. And, you know, they continue to make remarkable contributions that reflect on Nigeria's image abroad. And to join us in this conversation, we have Ngozi Jason Nwadinobi. She's a digipreneur and a gender advocate. Thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, first of all, I'd like to, like I said at the introduction, Nigerian women, you know, make up a significant part of the diaspora community, thriving in different professions. So I'd like to know, how would you describe the overall presence and impact of Nigerian women in diaspora today?
I think Nigerian women are doing a lot. Because of the work I do, I've been privileged to meet quite a number of women in different parts of the world doing great things. I can just mention a couple off the top of my head. I know a woman, a Nigerian woman from the eastern part of Nigeria. She lives in Qatar. She just launched a fashion brand in Qatar. She makes clothes with, you know, Ankara and Akwete, Nigerian fabrics, and then Ankara in Qatar, and she's doing well. There's a woman, she's from the western part of Nigeria. She has a community called Nigerian Women in the UK. And they help women in the UK, Nigerian women in the UK who have issues. They help them with immigration issues. They help them with domestic issues, all kinds of issues. On Facebook, they have over 20,000 women in their group in Facebook. There's a woman I know, Nigerian, she's in Germany. She's doing great work for African women in Germany. There's another lady again in Canada. She's doing great work. So Nigerian women are pulling their weight abroad.
Please continue. We can hear you.
All right. So that I'm done. So I'm just trying to tell you that Nigerian women are really pulling their weight abroad. There's so much going on, and Nigerian women are not sitting on, you know, laying their oars to rest. They are doing a great deal. It's just that a lot of times people are not hearing the stories. But because of the kind of work I do, I've been in touch with a number of women who are doing great things in different parts of the world, not just in the western parts, but in different parts of the world. Yeah, thank you.
All right. We know that you are a digipreneur and a gender advocate. You know, what is your major inspiration? What made you travel and leave Nigeria? Why did you leave? What's your boast?
Oh, why did I leave Nigeria? I love Nigeria, by the way. I love Nigeria, and everywhere I go, I let people know that I'm Nigerian. But there were several reasons why we left Nigeria. One of the reasons being that we wanted our children to have quality education without paying so much money for it. In Nigeria, I don't know if people still go to government primary and secondary schools. I don't know. I don't even know if they still exist. So, but if you want your child to go to a quality primary school, quality secondary school, you have to pay so much money. Some schools even charge in dollars. But in the Western world, education is free, at least up to secondary school. And in the UK, where I am, UK is in the top 5 countries when it comes to education, and at least you're not going to pay any fees up to secondary school. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason was because of security. We're not, the year before we left, right in front of my house, some guys came and put a gun at my head. After taking my bag, my phones, I was there with my husband, my children, and another young girl who was staying with us at that time. And they pulled a gun at my head and actually tried to shoot me right in front of my house. So that kind of thing, all the other stories you would hear of kidnappings, all those reasons. So we just felt, okay, maybe it's time to move. And another reason again, our green passport. Our green passport. Anytime you want to travel, people would start looking at you like you're some kind of criminal just because you have a green passport. Green being a Nigerian passport. So we wanted to be in a position where, because we used to travel a lot, and we do enjoy traveling, just like we've slowed down a little bit for now. So we wanted to be able to travel to anywhere in the world we wanted to travel without people belittling us or looking down at us just because we have a Nigerian passport. So those are some of the reasons why we chose to leave Nigeria. And at some point we'll still come back at some point, because there's no place like home, really. They say there's no place like home. So there's this Nigerian saying, they say monkey no fine, but a mama like him. So Nigeria is home, and we'll come back at some point.
You've mentioned quite a number of reasons why you left, and I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians also have these feelings of wanting to leave for these same reasons that you've mentioned. And from what you've said, it's not particularly a great look for the country at the moment. And it also brings up the issue of how the diaspora sees Nigerians, because if Nigerians are leaving their country for these negative reasons, I wonder how those abroad will see us. So I'd like to know, what image does Nigeria have in the diaspora currently? And how are Nigerian women in the diaspora trying to challenge these ideas or these ideologies about Nigeria?
First things first, I think that the Western press and social media paint Nigeria and Nigerians in a bad light. Because for as long as I've lived here, when I'm relating with people who are not Nigerians, people actually respect Nigerians. At least here in the UK, let me speak for the UK, that at least I've lived amongst the people. I can't speak about, I can't speak for any other country. People respect Nigerians. I remember when I was planning to do my dissertation for my master's program, and I sent my topic to my lecturer. He was very impressed. My topic was about body image, comparing African women and Caucasian women. He was very impressed with my topic. Then when I got a supervisor, when I sent him the first thing I did, he was very impressed. He said something. He said that Nigerians always pull their weight. All the Nigerians that he had ever supervised with their dissertation, he was always impressed with the work that they did. And based on my experience here, everybody just wants to work hard, put their head down, work hard, pay their bills, take care of their children, and just maybe have a little savings and then travel to one place or the other on vacation once or twice in a year. So my personal experience is that people respect Nigerians. But the few bad eggs that we have, for some reason, make waves more than the ones who are doing good. Lots of Nigerians are doing good. Lots of Nigerians are doing good. But we don't get to hear about them as often. If one Nigerian does one wrong thing, you will see how the news will circulate everywhere. Social media, all of them, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you just see the news flying everywhere. But when a Nigerian does good, you don't hear it flying about like that. I believe that Nigerians do not have a bad image in other countries. That's my personal belief. And correct me if I'm wrong. I stand to be corrected, but that's my personal belief. And I think I'm right. It's just that once a Nigerian person does something wrong, the whole world, including us Nigerians, we Nigerians, we are quick to condemn our country in public, and it is wrong. It is wrong. I feel that we should speak more. We should tell our own stories more. Spread our stories as far as you can. Spread the stories. Anytime someone does something good, spread it. Anytime something good is happening, spread it. Then when the wrong things are happening, don't be quick to share it, because that's what other countries do. I found out that Nigerians are not different from the people of other countries. The things that are going wrong in Nigeria, do you know that they are going wrong in the UK as well? But we don't get to hear about them. It's only when you come here and live, you start hearing some things. When things happen, let me speak like an Igbo person. When wrong things happen in all these countries, it will share ya, they will cover it. And you don't get to hear about it. But in our country, when things go wrong, social media, you're sharing, telling everybody, the whole world will not hear about it. And then the Western world too, when a Nigerian does something wrong, the way they will talk about it, So we need to tell our own stories. These are the things that we're talking about. And this is the reason why I'm also working with other Nigerian women who live in other countries. Let's tell our stories. You will not believe the number of good stories that are coming out from Nigerians who live in the diaspora. That's so many, but we don't get to hear about them, really. So I don't think that people from other countries have a bad notion or see Nigerians in a bad light. It's just the press that tries to make it look like Nigerians are bad people. Nigerians are good people. I don't know of any Nigerian, not one, and I'm not exaggerating and I'm not lying. I don't know of even one Nigerian in this country where I'm living in who is a criminal or who is doing something wrong. Everybody's working hard. Is it easy? A regular job is at least 8 hours, and that's if you're lucky. Most jobs are 10 hours, 12 hours, and you see some people doing two jobs just to pay bills. And after doing those two jobs, they're still not wealthy. They're still not rich. They're still just trying to get by, trying to take care of their families, send money home, take care of their children, pay rent, and there are so many bills to be paid in these Western countries. Nigeria is a fantastic country. It's fantastic. If we'll just get the leadership right. Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is the best country in this world. As far as I'm concerned. Anywhere we go, even my young son, who is just 13 years, he says, if there's any country in this world you don't see a Nigerian, then that country is not worth going to. My son says that. If there's any country in this world you don't see a Nigerian, that country is not worth going to. We pull our weight. I beat my chest. Nigerians, both men and women, we pull our weight, and I'm very proud of that. So we need to tell our stories more.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Please tell us about a few Nigerian women in diaspora, what they are doing, the influence, their contributions, and how far they have gone economically, politically. A few of them that you know.
Okay, so I mentioned a few, but let me give you more, put in some more body to that. There's this lady, she's Nigerian, she's from, I think, Delta State. Her name is Tobore Morokwo. I think that's how to pronounce her surname. She came into this country when she was 16 years old. She's now in her 40s. She has a group called Nigerian Women in the UK. It's now a registered charity in the UK, and they have a Facebook group. The Facebook group has almost 20,000 women, and they keep growing. They help a lot. They give information when you move to the UK, because when you move to a new country, information is the key currency. You need information to live life, comfortably. So there's a lot of information in that community. They help out a lot. When people have financial issues, they help. When they have immigration issues, they help. When they have marriage issues, health issues, they are always helping. So for any Nigerian woman who wants to move to the UK, please look for Nigerian Women in the UK on Facebook. And they have a website too. It's called Nigerian Women in the UK. Look for that group. Join them. They are doing great work. There's a lady in Canada. Her name is Chidema Ejom. That's her name, Chidema Ejom. She's in Canada. She has a community called Her Immigrant Tales. So she likes to work not just with Nigerians, just any female immigrant, especially if you live in Canada. She's doing a lot of work telling the stories, because people need to hear our stories. So because she's Nigerian, she has a slight bias towards Africans, but she works with any immigrant woman, whether you're Nigerian or African or from Asia, wherever you are from. She helps to tell their stories. She helps to encourage them, inspire them, because being an immigrant, and especially if you're African, it comes with its own challenges. So Chidima is doing a great job in Canada. There's another lady, her name is Ifoma Obona. She lives in Germany. Ifoma has lived in Germany for over 20 years. She does a lot of work with mothers, especially African mothers who live abroad, because when you live in Africa, you have help. When I lived in Nigeria, I had a driver. I never drove. Even though I could drive, I never drove in Nigeria. I had a driver. I had a maid who used to come Monday to Friday to clean my house, cook for me. I had someone who used to go shopping for me. Every month, I would just write my list, person would go shopping and deliver it to my house. I had cousins. I always had people around in my house. So I was never stressed up. But when you're living in the Western world, hired help is very expensive. So you find yourself as a woman, you're the cook, you're the cleaner, taking children to school, doing this with your business, with your job. There's so much to be done. So this lady in Germany, Ifoma Obona, she helps women to be able to create that balance so that there won't be a burnout, so that you won't be overwhelmed with all that you need to do. So she helps them to be able to organize their lives so they can have time for yourself. You don't burn out, because sometimes people get depressed. We get depressed with all that they need to do, and because there's no help. Sometimes there's no friends, no family, no one to talk to. You find yourself being on your own. So when you find people like this who are taking time out from their own lives to help you, then their names need to be mentioned. There's a lady in Qatar. Her name is, what's her name? Chioma Ngwabia. She lives in Qatar. She just launched a fashion brand in Qatar where she makes clothes that are Nigerian themed. And people are buying, not just Nigerians, not just Africans, people are buying. So Nigerian women are doing great work. So these are the 4 women I can think about off the top of my head. There's more, but these are the 4 I can think about right now.
I mean, it's very impressive to see that a lot of women in the diaspora are pulling the weight and doing these great things, helping, African women in the diaspora. But aside that, Nigerian women, also, there have been stories of, facing some type of stereotypes or negative stereotypes. I mean, you earlier mentioned you wrote a work for your master's on body image and the likes. Now, aside from issues around body image, there are other stereotypes that are attached to Nigerian women. I'd like to know, what are the major challenges that Nigerian women specifically face abroad in terms of these stereotypes, and how does it affect them?
Stereotypes. So when you say stereotype, what do you mean?
Like I just mentioned, the issue of body image, also, physical appearance, complexion, things like that. All these peculiar things that usually affect Africans, but let's just narrow it down to Nigerians and Nigerian women. So that's what I mean.
Well, from my personal experience and in my communication with other women in the UK, people don't really have time. People are just busy. People don't really have time to think about the stereotypes that follow you from your country to your new country. People are just too busy. Some people are going to school full time and working full time, and they have children, they have husbands, they have families to take care of. I don't think that people don't really have time. In fact, I think that in Nigeria, we take better when it comes to your self-image or your body image. People are more careful about their body image back home in Nigeria than in the Western world, because nobody cares about how you look. Nobody cares. In fact, if you like, don't even comb your hair. Nobody cares. But Nigerians, we always represent. We always represent. So at least when you're going to somewhere special, maybe if you're going to a party, a wedding, or you're going to church, you represent. But on a regular day, when people are going to work, nobody cares about how they look. Nobody cares about all those stereotypes. Those things don't really work here, really. The only thing that I know about Nigeria is that Nigerian women are hardworking. Nigerians generally, both the men and women are hardworking, but it seems that the women work doubly hard. That's when I talk about the women, I'm talking about the mothers, those who are mothers, because there are some things that you just, as a mother, you just take upon yourself to do. Because women are natural nurturers. So you find that you're the one who is attending meetings in school, the PTA meetings in school. You're the one who is looking at your children's results more. You're the one who is trying to find out how your children are behaving, trying to find out how your children are relating with each other or with one another. You're the one who does most of the shopping. You're the one who does most of the cooking. So I think generally the women may even be working harder because the men are working hard outside and they come back home, they may tend to relax. But the woman will work hard outside and then come back and then continue with the work that she was doing outside. So I'm not sure. I don't really think that the stereotypes that Nigerian women have back home in Nigeria, I don't think those stereotypes follow us here to the UK because everybody is too busy. Nobody has time for things like that. I hope I've answered your question.
You have.
All right. Do you think women are given equal opportunity as they give men abroad?
Do I think women are given? I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that question. I would say yes. I would say yes. That if we're talking about men and women, but when you're talking about African women or black women, maybe not. Maybe not. For example, most of the people who have left Nigeria and come to Obodo Yibo are professionals. Most of them, if not all, you're either a professional, a successful one, I might add, or a business person, a successful one. And then when you come to Nigeria, when you come to the Western world, some of them, we have masters, some people have done their PhD. And then when you come here, you can't find a job that you're qualified for. You have the experience, you have the paper qualification, but you can't get a job that you're qualified for. You have to start from the bottom. You have to start your life all over again. So all the experience that you had, all the qualifications that you had in your home country, when you come here, they mean nothing. They mean nothing. You have to start from scratch. Maybe you were a managing director back home in the company you worked for, or you were a manager or whatever you were, or you were handling your own company and people were calling you yes ma, yes sir. You come here, you'll be the one to answer yes ma, yes sir. No matter how old you are, no matter your qualifications, you start from the bottom again. So I'm not sure that it has to do with whether you are a man or woman, but I think it has to do with the fact that you are an immigrant. So you would not be given the same opportunity as someone who was born and bred here. So I think that's it. I think it just has to do with the fact that you're an immigrant and not necessarily, that's because it's because you're female. I think everybody is given equal opportunity, whether you're male or female, but the opportunities now kind of reduce a bit because you're an immigrant. At least at the beginning, at the start, when you first come into the country for the first few years, you have to now start climbing your way up all over again.
Because of time, I would like you to, in a sentence, tell us what civil society or government can do to include or support Nigerian women abroad.
Civil society in Nigeria, right? Or the government in Nigeria? I think, first of all, we need to, I like what you're doing. A few months ago, I think about 2 months ago, another TV station interviewed me. They interviewed me and now you're interviewing me. So I think we need to talk more to Nigerian women who live abroad. We should have more of these kinds of opportunities for us to tell our stories so that as we tell our stories, both on traditional platforms like TV stations and also on social media platforms, somebody somewhere high up there in our country would get to hear about what's going on, and then somebody would decide to do some kind of initiative. We have lots of initiatives, but many of these initiatives are being launched and handled by private individuals. People are doing things with their personal money or trying to get help from other people who are bringing money, helping out with their own personal finances. But the more we tell our stories, the more our stories will be heard. And at some point, hopefully, somewhere up there in government, we'll get to hear about what, the challenges that Nigerian women are facing abroad and the good work that we're doing. And then decide to do, create or launch an initiative that the government is backing so that Nigerian women abroad can be helped.
All right, thank you so much, Ngozi Jason Wadinobi. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
that
having
is
me.
it today in that conversation with Ngozi, or Nigerian women in diaspora and the image of Nigeria abroad. Thank you so much for staying with us.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have, some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Chikichi Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.